Imagine when the whole world had accepted that Tesla Semi-Gen 2 is just an expensive experiment. Then suddenly Elon Musk made such a blast about the 2026 model that shook everyone. Yes, Elon himself has leaked the new range, price, and even the confirmation of its mass production. Now imagine the truck which people were considering only as a dream of electric transport is now going to become a reality, and that too with such features, hearing which diesel truck manufacturing companies have lost their sleep. The new version of Semi-Gen 2 is not only more powerful than before, but both its range and price are such that can change the definition of the trucking industry. The question is, how much has this range increased? How much has the price decreased? And when is the mass production going to start? All these things are so explosive that if you know once, then perhaps the entire truck market of the coming years will be seen changing in front of your eyes. So, friends, stay tuned till the end of this video because the revelations that will happen next will surprise you. And yes, subscribe to the channel before moving on to the video so that you can be the first to see such explosive updates. Why is Semi-Gen 2 being called a game changer? Actually, diesel trucks have dominated the trucking industry till now. Be it America, Europe, or Asia, only big diesel trucks were seen ruling the highways. The reason was also clear: more power, long distance, and ability to run continuously for hours. But Tesla Semi-Gen 2 has changed this thinking. Now, an electric truck is not only at par with diesel, but has surpassed it in many cases. Leaked information from Elon Musk has revealed that the range of Semi-Gen 2 is now more than ever. The biggest question for trucking companies has always been how much distance the electric truck will be able to cover with a heavy load. But Semi-Gen 2 has removed this doubt. Now drivers and companies will not have to worry about charging again and again. It can easily complete long-distance journeys. This is why it is being called a game changer. Imagine, when big companies making diesel trucks are seeing this change, it is no less than a shock for them. The entry of Tesla Semi-Gen 2 has made it clear that the future of trucking is going to change now. Elon Musk says that in the coming times, most of the logistics companies in the world will shift to electric trucks. And if this happens, it will be the biggest change that the transport industry has seen in the last several decades. Power and performance. The most talked about Tesla Semi-Gen 2 is its power and performance, because this is the aspect which has been dominated by diesel trucks till now. It has always been believed in the trucking industry that diesel engines are the most reliable for carrying heavy loads and running for long distances without stopping. But Tesla has tried to change this thinking with Semi-Gen 2. Let's understand how powerful the power and performance of this new electric truck really is and how it stands apart from the old diesel trucks. First of all, let's talk about the motor and torque of the Semi-Gen 2. Tesla has installed 4 powerful electric motors in it, out of which 2 motors work only for efficiency, and the other 2 motors work to give tremendous torque and power. With the help of these motors, the torque of the Semi-Gen 2 is so high that it can run without any problem even with the heaviest load. Tesla claims that even if the Semi-Gen 2 truck runs with a full load, i.e., about 37,000 kilograms, 82,000 pounds, it will still reach a speed of 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 20 seconds. Now just imagine how big a proof it is for such a heavy vehicle to reach such a fast speed for any electric technology. Regarding its performance on mountains and highways, Tesla has clarified that Semi-Gen 2 has been specifically designed keeping long-haul transportation in mind. Generally, the biggest strength of diesel trucks is that they can easily run with load even in hilly areas. But Semi-Gen 2 has performed more than expected in this case, too. Tesla says that this truck can maintain a speed of 65 miles per hour, about 105 kilometers per hour, with full load even on hill climbs. On the other hand, diesel trucks usually do not reach a speed of more than 40 to 45 miles per hour on similar climbs. That is, Semi Gen 2 is not only in competition despite being electric, but is ahead of diesel in many cases. Its smooth performance on the highway is also worth mentioning. Due to the electric motor, Semi Gen 2 does not require gear shifting, whereas in diesel trucks gears have to be changed frequently. This not only makes driving easier, but also reduces driver fatigue on long journeys. Tesla has also provided a regenerative braking system in Semi Gen 2, which charges the truck's battery on descent and also controls the truck. This gives better braking to the driver, and there is no wastage of energy like fuel. Now, if we compare it with old diesel trucks, Tesla Semi Gen 2 gives direct advantage in many cases. Diesel trucks incur huge maintenance expenses due to their large engine and gearbox. On the other hand, electric Semi has neither gearbox nor hassles like oil change. Due to this, its performance remains stable for a long time. Yes, battery capacity and charging infrastructure are still challenges, but in terms of power and torque, Semi Gen 2 is giving tough competition to diesel. The most special thing about Semi Gen 2 is that it brings a big change not only in performance, but also in driving experience. Tesla has made its driver cabin very modern. Driving seat in the middle, touchscreen display on both sides, and fully digital controls. This means that driving a truck is no longer just a task of pulling a machine, but has become a high-tech experience. The power and performance of Tesla Semi Gen 2 is such that it can no longer be taken lightly. It runs smoothly even with full load, is fast on hills and stable on the highway. Along with challenging the power of old diesel trucks, Semi Gen 2 has proved that electric technology is no longer limited to cars, but can also change a heavy industry like trucking. In the coming times, this performance factor will decide whether trucking companies will really shift from diesel to electric. Tesla Semi Gen 2 old version versus 2026 model. When Tesla first announced the Semi truck in 2017, the eyes of the whole world were fixed on this project. Elon Musk had claimed at that time that this electric truck would change the transportation industry forever. His words surprised everyone because, till that time, electric cars were a big deal for people, and making a heavy machine like a truck electric seemed almost impossible. Musk had said that the Semi would give a range of 300 miles and 500 miles on a single charge, and its price would be around $150,000 to $180,000. At that time, these claims were so big that trucking companies immediately started pre-ordering. Big companies like Pepsi, Walmart, and UPS also jumped into this race. But the reality turned out to be a little different. The production of the Semi kept getting postponed again and again. 2019, then 2020, then 2022. Each time Musk gave a new date, but the Semi did not appear on the roads on a large scale. Finally, in late 2022, Tesla delivered the first units to Pepsi, but even then, the Semi could not become a mass product. Its range was definitely stated to be up to 500 miles, but in real conditions and with heavy load, this range was not that stable. For charging, Tesla promised a mega charger, which could charge 70% of the battery in just 30 minutes. But this system was also not available everywhere. The price was also a big challenge. Initially, it was said that the price of the Semi would start from $150,000. But due to the increase in battery and production costs, it proved to be very expensive. Companies also realized that, before adopting such an expensive electric truck, It is necessary to have confidence in the charging infrastructure and performance. This is the reason why the first version of the Semi could not shake the industry on a large scale. Now let's come to the new 2026 Tesla Semi Gen 2. The information that has come out about this model shows that Tesla has prepared the Semi Gen 2, keeping in mind the lessons learned over the past several years. The biggest change is being reported in its range. Tesla has further improved the battery technology, so that the Semi Gen 2 can now cover more distance than before. This means that the driver will not have to worry about frequent charging in heavy loads and long-haul trucking. The second major improvement is about the price. It is clear from Musk's leaked information that the price structure of the 2026 model will be made more affordable for companies. Tesla now wants to present the Semi as a smart business investment, not just a luxury electric truck. This means that the difference in the cost of a diesel truck and the Semi Gen 2 will no longer be as big as before. Companies will be more willing to shift to the Semi, seeing the huge savings on fuel and maintenance. The third improvement is in production and supply chain. The biggest problem with the first model was that Tesla was not able to deliver trucks on time. With the 2026 model, Tesla has planned to further increase the capacity of its gigafactories so that Semi Gen 2 can be made on a large scale. Mass production will not only reduce the price, but will also give companies the confidence that they will get timely delivery. Apart from this, there will also be many technology upgrades in Semi Gen 2. Tesla's autopilot system, new safety features, and better charging infrastructure can prove to be game-changers this time. While the first Semi seemed like just a proof of concept, the new Semi Gen 2 is going to enter the real commercial game. Simply put, the dream that Elon Musk showed to the world in 2017, we got to see its incomplete form in the first Semi. Problems related to range, price, and production were clearly visible in it. But now, the 2026 Semi Gen 2 is a complete attempt to overcome those problems. Not only will it cover longer distances, but it will also promise to reduce costs for companies. This is why this time the industry is considering it a serious game changer. New range revealed. The biggest update that has come out about Tesla Semi Gen 2 is the disclosure of its new range. Earlier, when Tesla announced the Semi truck in 2017, the company claimed that this truck would give a range of 300 miles and 500 miles on a single charge. At that time, this claim was considered very big because the battery technology for heavy trucks was not that advanced. But, in reality, the first version of the Semi was not fully successful in giving such a stable range. Especially when the truck ran with a heavy load, the range was reduced. Because of this, many companies doubted whether electric trucks could really become an alternative to diesel trucks. Now, in the new information that has come out for the 2026 Tesla Semi Gen 2, the biggest change is seen regarding the range. According to Musk's leaked details and industry reports, Semi Gen 2 is now coming with better battery technology than before. It is believed that its new version will be able to give a range of up to 600 miles, about 965 kilometers. This is an improvement of more than 100 miles from the previous model. And the most important thing is that this range is also considered more reliable in long-haul conditions. This means that drivers will not have to worry about frequent charging, and companies will be able to easily use it to transport goods over long distances. This increased range is no less than a revolution for the trucking industry. The biggest concern of trucking companies in big markets like America, Europe, and Asia was that electric trucks would waste time in frequent charging. But if Semi Gen 2 really travels up to 600 miles, then it will stand at par with diesel trucks. The average trucking route in the U.S. is between 250 to 400 miles, meaning the Semi-Gen 2 can easily cover the entire distance in a day. This will not only save time, but will also reduce the pressure on the charging infrastructure. Now let's talk about the price. The price of Tesla Semi has always been a topic of discussion. The company had quoted a price of $150,000 to $180,000 for the initial version. Later, the price of the 500-mile range model reached $200,000. Because of this, many companies were hesitant to afford it. The news that has come out about the 2026 Semi-Gen 2 says that its price will be around $170,000. At first glance, this price seems expensive, but when compared to the long-term cost of a diesel truck, the Semi-Gen 2 proves to be more beneficial. Diesel trucks are certainly cheaper, but millions of dollars are spent annually on their fuel and maintenance. In the U.S., a truck consumes an average of 20,000 to 25,000 gallons of diesel in a year. And if we assume the price of diesel to be $4 per gallon, then the annual expenditure is around $80,000 to $100,000 on fuel alone. Apart from this, if we add the cost of engine maintenance, oil change, and repairs, then the diesel truck is even more expensive. On the other hand, Tesla Semi-Gen 2 reduces fuel costs significantly due to being electric. The cost of electricity is much cheaper than diesel, and maintenance is also less because the electric motor does not have things like oil, gearbox, or exhaust. Tesla Semi-Gen 2 is being called a wise deal for companies because it will reduce operational costs greatly in the long run. Suppose a company has 100 trucks. If they shift from diesel to electric, then crores of dollars can be saved annually. This is the reason why big companies like Pepsi, Walmart, and FedEx have already ordered Semi. Now more companies are taking interest in it after hearing the new price and range of Semi-Gen 2. Apart from this, the confirmation of mass production of Tesla Semi-Gen 2 has also shaken the trucking industry. The biggest problem with the first model was that Tesla could not deliver on time. But with the 2026 model, Tesla is increasing the production capacity of its gigafactories. This means that now Semi-Gen 2 will be available on a large scale, and companies will be able to get it on time. Both the new range and price of Tesla Semi-Gen 2 have made it the biggest contender in the trucking industry. The range of 600 miles and the price of $170,000 are giving companies a direct reason to shift from diesel to electric. This will not only reduce carbon emissions but will also save money on a large scale for logistics companies. This is the reason why industry experts are calling it a game changer. Now the question is, will Tesla Semi-Gen 2 really leave behind the world of diesel trucks? Or will it also face the same challenges as before? The answer to this will be found in the coming years, but it is clear that this new move of Elon Musk has brought about a stir in both the automobile and trucking industries. Automation and technology. As much as the power and range are being talked about Tesla Semi-Gen 2, its automation and technology are also going to play an equally big role. Tesla has always been known for autopilot and AI technology in its cars, and now the same level will be seen in a big truck like Semi-Gen 2. It has Tesla's advanced autopilot system, which has high-tech AI sensors, cameras, and radars. These systems keep constant 360-degree monitoring around the truck. The advantage of this is that the driver does not need to pay attention to everything every moment, and the truck itself makes things like traffic, changing lanes, and maintaining distance easier. Now, if we talk about driver fatigue and accidents, then this feature is no less than a boon for the trucking industry. Driver fatigue is said to be a major reason for trucking accidents in America and Europe. Driving long distances for hours breaks a person's concentration, and a small mistake causes a big accident. But the autopilot system of Tesla Semi Gen 2 constantly helps the driver. It keeps the truck in the lane, maintains distance from the vehicle in front, and also gives alerts when needed. This simply means that the driver gets some relief, and the chances of accidents are reduced to a great extent. Safety features are also special in this. Semi Gen 2 has systems like automatic emergency braking, collision warning, and blind spot monitoring. These features together make the truck even safer. Especially when such a large vehicle is running on the highway, safety becomes of utmost importance. Tesla has designed the Semi Gen 2 in such a way that it is safe not only for the driver, but also for other vehicles and pedestrians. Now let's come to the biggest question for companies: fleet management and economics. The technology of Semi Gen 2 not only helps the driver, but also benefits the companies that manage the entire fleet, i.e., hundreds of trucks. Tesla has equipped the Semi Gen 2 with a connected system. This means that companies can monitor the location, battery level, range, and performance of their trucks in real time. This makes the work of logistics companies easier because they get information about every truck on the same system. Now talking about money, here Tesla Semi Gen 2 is going to change the biggest game. The biggest weakness of a diesel truck is its fuel cost. An average diesel truck consumes about 20,000 to 25,000 gallons of diesel in a year. If the price of diesel is assumed to be $4 per gallon, then the annual cost of a truck reaches $80,000 to $100,000. On the other hand, due to Tesla Semi Gen 2 being electric, its charging cost is very low. Tesla claims that its truck costs less than half the cost per mile to run as compared to diesel. Talking about maintenance cost, Semi Gen 2 beats diesel here too. Diesel engines have gearbox, oil change, exhaust, and many mechanical parts, which require regular servicing. On the other hand, these are not required in electric Semi Gen 2. Its motor and battery can run for years with less servicing. This directly affects the expenses of companies. If a big trucking company uses 100 trucks, and each of them saves lakhs of rupees annually, then imagine how much the entire company will benefit. This is the reason why companies like Pepsi and Walmart have already ordered Tesla Semi. In the long run, this saving can reach millions of dollars. That is, Tesla Semi Gen 2 can prove to be not just an electric truck, but a profit machine for companies. The automation and technology of Tesla Semi Gen 2 is not only bringing a safe and easy experience for the driver, but is also becoming a means of saving money on a large scale for companies. Driver fatigue and accidents will be reduced, fleet management will be easier, fuel and maintenance costs will be reduced, and companies will be able to save millions of dollars in the long run. This is why industry experts are saying Semi Gen 2 is going to decide the future of the trucking industry. The impact of Tesla. Semi Gen 2 is not limited to America only, but it is also going to have a direct impact on the global market. First of all, talking about America, the logistics and trucking companies here are already excited about Semi Gen 2. Big companies like Pepsi, Walmart, and FedEx are among the early customers of Tesla. They say that if Semi Gen 2 really comes with its promised range and low operating costs, it can save them millions of dollars in the long run. The trucking industry in the U.S. is already struggling with driver shortages and fuel costs. In such a situation, Semi Gen 2 is being seen as a solution. Now let's talk about Europe and Asia. The European Union is already emphasizing on reducing carbon emissions, and many restrictions are being imposed on diesel trucks there. In such an environment, electric trucks like Semi Gen 2 can become a perfect option for Europe. Many logistics companies in Europe are already showing interest in this truck. Talking about Asia, the rapidly growing e-commerce sector in countries like China and India needs affordable and sustainable options for transportation. Companies like BYD are already working on electric trucks in China, but Tesla's Semi-Gen 2 can quickly win the trust of companies due to its global brand and advanced technology. This move of Tesla directly challenges BYD, Toyota, and other big companies. BYD is the biggest name in electric vehicles in China and already has electric buses and trucks. Toyota is working on hybrid and hydrogen technology, but has not yet been able to make as much hold as Tesla in electric trucking. After the launch of Semi-Gen 2, the pressure on these companies will increase to bring their technology to the market quickly. That is, Tesla has not just launched a truck, but has started a new race in the global automobile industry. Talking about the future, Tesla is not going to stop even after Semi-Gen 2. Musk's vision is that in the coming time, more updated versions of Semi will come, whose range and charging technology will be even better. Tesla's dream is to create a mass trucking network where its electric Semi connects with each other on the highway and works in a synchronized system. If this dream becomes a reality, then the whole game of logistics can change. Imagine a trucking world where the hum of diesel engines is replaced by the soft hum of electric motors, and companies' expenses are halved. But the big question is, are diesel trucks really going to be history now? Or is the Tesla Semi-Gen 2 just another high-technology stunt, as has been seen many times before? It is true that some of Tesla's previous projects were not delivered on time, and the first version of the Semi was also delayed several times. So the doubt still remains. Now the decision is in your hands. Do you think that the Tesla Semi-Gen 2 will really change the world of trucking forever? Or will this also be limited to discussion for just a few years? Do share your opinion in the comments. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you get the biggest and true news related to Tesla and the auto industry first.